Two things you would like to change about education overall?
There is a certain level of structure in the formal education space which we need to respect. Because if we go disrupting that, it's not going to be there. We need to layer it, we need to augment it. We need to have a much more rounded element to that entire thought process. That will make a world of a difference because it'll get people at a much younger age to be a lot more aware. And second, I think in education, whether we like it or not, there is the haves and the haves not. And I emotionally and passionately believe that if we fix the have-nots a little bit more disproportionately, we'll all be in a different marketplace. So for me, at this stage in my life, market making and opening up at scale is quite an obsession. So I think those are two macro points for me.
Jay?
So for me, two themes. One is theme at a system level and one is at an individual level. At a system level, I think I agree with Ronnie. Don't break parts of what is traditional. Simply widen the number of people that can access what is traditional. For me, a far bigger problem is not necessarily the quality of the education. I'm coming from outside the EdTech sector, so it's easier for me to say that because I'm not, biased towards necessarily thinking the opposite way. Maybe I'm wrong. And widen just giving everybody more, making it meritocratic, and then allowing merit to take course. The challenge right now is that most people struggle to get access to basics that make even access to education and then the brand name kind of spiral. So that for me is the individual side, at the system side. At an individual side, it's much more, again, the theme we've touched on, learning from people, not learning from courses and learning from books. I think learning from people it's harder to surround yourself, but at some level, we make decisions of who we surround ourselves with. And those are semi-conscious, at least. I know some people have less of a choice in that. And I think that to me is lifelong learning after the age of, at the latest 30, but for most people 23 or 24 is learning from people.
Yeah. Got it?
Can you repeat the question also?
One thing you've learned in your journey, in the journey around education, that you would like to share so the new budding entrepreneurs can keep that in mind. Second part of the question, if you could change arbitrarily one very fundamental first principles kind of thing about education, what would you change?
So I'll start with the second one first. What I would like to change is that even today, I think there is a lot more focus on content and education, etc. I like to believe that technologists are not coming in the sector. I like to believe that the way a Duolingo has solved a problem, where it's a completely computer-generated program or a game teaching people, and obviously there is humor intervention that has gone into it, or there is Roblox, where every third kid is using in US, or playing a game on Roblox. I think people are not building enough technology stuff. So one thing I would like to change is that I would request entrepreneurs that education is a big sector. Don't just be stuck in fintech. Look beyond fintech. Every other founder I meet is, I'm doing fintech this, I'm doing fintech that. Yes, fintech is a big market.
Yeah, fintech is fun.
Yeah. Yes, fintech is a big market, but there are other sectors also where a large part of large companies will be created. And second thing which I have a huge problem with is that, and this is nothing to do with EdTech. This is more, I think the ambition of founders in India is very low. I think I see some co-founders exiting after taking some minor secondary. I see people getting satisfied very less. But let's say if you look at Dipinder of a Zomato or Bhavesh of an Ola, and the kind of aspirations they have for their Act 2, amazing aspirations. So what we also, we want super duper ambitious people and technology people to also come to EdTech and be ambitious in general. So, and more than education, see, I believe that yes, peer-to-peer learning and learning from people is good. But my view is, which is completely different, I don't think that's practical. I don't think that's what will scale. Duolingo now has 60 million MAUs. There is no other person on the app. There are 8 million paid users. This is from their last earnings report. Stock is trading at 15x revenue, $6 billion company. No human is involved, no social experience. There is gamification and a computer teaching you. And I think lifelong learning, though theoretically sounds good, I don't think anybody wants to. You have to solve for motivation. In an ideal scenario, yes, people should do lifelong learning, but they don't. So how do we solve for motivation that you study psychology for learning and not because you want to crack these examinations? So I think these are the few thoughts that I have. And one last prediction I would like to make is that we don't realize that how much AI will change education. I think most of the stuff that we discussed today would look irrelevant 1 year from now. And we don't realize that 5 years from now, every household will have a robot. Like personal computers changed everything. If you look at the latest product that Ring has introduced, the doorbell cam, now Ring has a drone which can, while you are away, access your entire home. And what Tesla bot is doing, I think we are maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years away where every household in the world, especially starting with the people who can afford it, will have a robot. So I think that will also change a lot of things.
Super. My thing, I can paint an optimistic picture or a very dystopian one. I'm going to pick the latter. I feel like the modern construct of a family, husband, wife, child, school,
or non-child,
is not the best to fester education in the manner that I would dream for it to be. I think if you go back in time before organized religion and many other things, each kid learned from the community and he fixated upon what skill set he might like in the community, what he would like to inculcate. I feel the modern notion of a family, we tell our kids what religion to follow, we tell our kids what it is okay to study, maybe not consciously but subconsciously. I don't know how this will work, but going back to a world where the mimetic influences of the world are lesser on the child and the child is allowed an environment to be more organic about the learning choices he makes is something that should change about education. Make sense?
Yeah, well put.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Nikhil Kamath. I'd love to know what you thought of the episode. Comment, like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.